It's all you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending our Select Board meeting for February 20th, 2025. We will call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It feels good to be back. We haven't been on air for 3 weeks here, so we had no meeting on the 6th because of snow and no meeting on the 13th because of snow, and we prayed that there would not be any snow tonight, so here we are. Approval for warrants for week 7. Payroll warrant number 13 for $32,610.79. And appropriations warrant number 14, $34,678.62, for a total $67,289.41.
I make a motion to accept payroll warrant 13 and appropriation warrant 14.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Let's go over a few of these before we vote on it. CMP for electricity, $370.07. Money that is sent in to the Bureau of Motor Vehicle, $5,331.03. MEMIC, our workers' comp insurance, $2,918.24. UniFirst for uniforms, $67.65. Your weekly shopping guide ads for $128. Charter Communication, $3,275.03. And Department of Environmental Protection, $25. All those in favor? Passed.
Purchase order.
Do you want to run off?
Yeah, I'll go through the purchase orders. Purchase orders for Fire and EMS, a request to pay Boundtree for EMS supplies, $204.10. A request to pay Hartford Communications for a radio and an antenna, $1,858. A request to pay Luke Alexander EMT research fee, $26. A request to pay Whitmer firefighting equipment, $2,172.89. And a request to pay Sleepers Ace Hardware for $92.95.
I will make a motion to accept the purchase order request for fire and EMS.
I will second that.
All in favor? No discussion.
Municipal Complex, a request to pay Maine Municipal Association webinar training, $25.
I make a motion that we accept this municipal complex purchase order.
I will second that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Parks and Rec, a request to pay Sleepers Market Hardware for $445.14. A request to pay Seacoast Adventure for $1,050. A request to pay Cody Woodcraft, second payment for basement stairs, $4,800. A request to pay Durfee Generators, the FEMA grant generator, the first installment of $5,100, which will be reimbursed from FEMA.
I make a motion to accept Parks and Rec purchase orders.
I will second that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Public Works, a request to pay O'Connor's Truck 6 repair, $1,267.07. A request to pay Keyser Falls Napa maintenance and parts for fleet, $1,178.17. And a request to pay White Sign for a sign and a bracket, $194.
I'll make a motion to accept Public Works purchase orders.
I will second that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Code Enforcement, a request to pay Town of Sebago NFPA Fire Inspection Certificate, certification, $100.
I'll make a motion to accept the code enforcement purchase order request.
I will second that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Library, request to pay Amazon for floor cleaner, $13.49. And a request to pay WB Mason for bathroom paper, $38.48.
I'll make a motion to accept the library purchase order requests.
I will second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
And GA Office, a request to pay Maine Welfare Directors Association for the membership, $40.
I'll make a motion to accept the GA office purchase order request.
I will second that.
All in favor? All right. Select Board weekly activities. We were in session today, executive session, and be a good time right now to say that we will be in executive session next week pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056E and 4056A. Thank you. So that will be happening next Thursday afternoon. Actually, why don't we run down these? Just a good time to remind everybody that the annual municipal election is coming up for Tuesday, February 25th. Absentee ballots are available at for the election at the municipal complex. Polls will be open Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And there's a copy of the sample ballot in the lobby. MSAD number 6, school board nomination papers are available. Limington has one opening, so if you want to go on the Limington website, all of these things are posted there for you to be able to read. The election will be held on Tuesday, June 10th. So there's plenty of time for nomination papers to be taken out and to be returned. The annual town report is out. It came yesterday, and so they are here at the town office. I don't know if any will be at like the post office. I know in the years past they have been, but for now we'll just say that they're here at the town hall. So come and get your copy. We've already had some people that came in tonight, requested them, and took some home. And the annual town meeting. The town meeting will be held on Saturday, March 1st at 9 a.m. And the warrant is on the website, and it's in the book itself.
I just want to touch base on this one up here.
Yeah.
As of yesterday afternoon, there is a white Subaru that I guess is showing up at people's houses and has been known to be looking through windows. I wasn't aware, as neither was Tammy, that Parker Appraisal was going to be out appraising or going to homes. I had responded on the social media because there's a lot of people that have voiced their opinions and their issues with this. So it is on the website as of last night. I guess he is part of Parker Appraisal. I still haven't had the final talk with Patty out front to find out why, but this was...
She's not in tonight, so.
This was, yeah, Patty's out tonight. It's his son, Parker's Appraisal's son, that is going around. Once again, I apologize. I knew nothing about this. And
Right.
it was nothing to do with the 2025 assessing.
Right, right.
From the other company. That doesn't start till
Yeah.
November, so
Yeah.
I'm still unaware.
Yeah, and it's because if anybody had any building going on, any
Outstanding
permits.
or,
Please speak about this now or later.
we'll open it up after, yeah.
So we were under the
Yeah.
information that anybody who had open building permits or construction going on at their home for improvements, that's why they're out and about.
Because when you pull a permit, it flags the card, the tax map, and it gets set off to the side, and then it gets reappraised and looked at. So
If there's
I'd be
valuation
curious.
changes
Yeah.
of your house. So Lisa, yeah, we'll let you.
But we'll circle
certainly
back
let you
to that.
talk when
I
we
just
open
wanted
it
to
up.
touch base on that. That's been a social media frenzy the last few days.
Yes.
So I can't say I don't blame him. Somebody
Right.
showing up your yard looking through your windows is not
The
not too-
appropriate way to,
not too smart on his part, so,
not a good way to
No.
make friends, influence people.
yeah.
We can do some updates?
Yeah. We'll go down through, I'll start with code. Week ending 2/14. Looks like one growth permit, one building permit, 2 plumbing permits, and 1 medical cannabis permits for a total of 5. Fees this week, $3,130. Year-to-date is $8,595.82. Craig was on 6 inspections last week. This is, I'll go down through.
Limington Fire and EMS?
What's that?
You want to do Limington?
Yeah, no, I'll do the fire and EMS. Week ending February 15th, number of calls that week, 15. Month to date, 31. Year to date, 92. I had 2 fire calls and 13 EMS calls. The schedule was complete for the week. In-house training Wednesday night. They held the second training to cover their annual mandatory reviews of policies, plans, and programs. There's been a lot of plowing and shoveling going on at the stations and hydrants due to all the snowstorms. They have received the fit test machine back from its annual calibration. And month to date, they are 6 calls ahead of last February, and year to date, 5 calls ahead of last year. So it's off to
Excellent.
a busy start.
Public Works, we do want to thank the men that are out plowing and keeping our roads open. A lot of hours were put in the past 2-3 weeks with all the snow that we've had, and we just want to make sure that they know that we appreciate each and every one of them. So we thank you. Limington Parks and Recreation. Current programs, the before and after care program at the HB Emery. Coffee social every Wednesday from 9:30 to 11:30 at the Old Town Hall. Indoor pickleball Tuesday and Friday nights at HB Emery from 6 to 8 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to noon. They have youth basketball going on and Outdoor Explorer Club. Open registration, they have February vacation camp with trips to Seacoast Adventure Park for tubing, and today they went ice fishing to Momodeo, so what a great day for that, a lot of sun. Tomorrow, well, no, this is older. So that was 2/14. All right, Wednesday, March 12th, in addition to our regular game time for Coffee Social, we'll be hosting a community boiled dinner for St. Patrick's Day starting at 11 a.m. So come and join them for a great meal. Summer Camp 2025. Registration opening for Limington residents start mid-February and non-residents later in March. More information will be coming soon. Limington Recreation helped with 2 outdoor education days at HB Emery School for 4th and 5th graders. We are working on other dates and activities for children in the other grades. Details and registration for April vacation camp will be coming soon. Construction to the new stairwell to the basement at the Old Town Hall was completed yesterday. Huge thanks to Eric Cody. A new spring newsletter will be out next week with details on Summer Camp 2025, T-ball registration, track, community events at the Old Town Hall and Blake Memorial Field, and much more. It's hard to believe with all the snow on the ground and how cold it's been, but spring is around the corner and they've got tons of activities for kids coming up this spring. We will be advertising several summer employment opportunities in the coming weeks. We are looking for several summer camp counselors. Please reach out to Madison if you are interested or have questions. Respectfully submitted, Madison Moody, Parks and Rec Director.
Yes, thank you, Madison.
Excellent.
Just to follow up with the Public Works, I thank the Fire Chief Emil and Owen for plowing as well. You know, they were covering the stations in
Yes.
Town Hall and the transfer station, so thank them as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. We saw you guys in the loader running around. Moving snow, thank you. Do we have the CEO, ACO? The ACO was in office tonight, talking to us, and he'll be coming within the next few weeks, just to speak to people when spring comes about rabies awareness, and he likes to remind everybody about your dog licenses and making sure that they're all up to date. But he's also thinking about having, or trying to have, a rabies clinic here at the town hall. So more information on that coming up. So we appreciated Dave coming in and speaking to us on these topics.
Yes. I think, yeah, I had a couple people come in about the new book, had some questions. Yeah.
Other than that, I think it's been a pretty standard week.
So far, yes.
Yeah.
Back in office. Yeah, it's just executive session after executive session. With that being said, we'll open it up to the public. If anybody would like to come up, just state your name and your place.
Hi.
How you doing?
Alan Burgess, 35 Osprey Trail, and this is my wife Lisa Burgess, same address. Tuesday morning, we had that white Subaru visit us. We have a security system, we have it on pictures, and I immediately called the state police, and they didn't have an answer right away, so I called them again today to find out what they actually came up with. And at that point, he notified me that it was on the town website. So what really bothers me is the fact that we tried to flag this person down. They did not stop. Even from the window, whichever, drove out beyond the barn, parked on the corner of the building, sat there for a few minutes, turned around, and then immediately drove back out. So very unprofessional. It's pretty sad when we have to do our own research to find out that, you know, we found out that it's property appraisal, blah, 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 and I'll just let my wife do that. I'll give you these. Good.
So, we went, when this happened, I posted on social media. Sorry, Lisa Burgess. I posted on social media, you know, to anyone else familiar with this vehicle? And, because I had license plate and we had a picture of the people, and, you know, lots of people saying, wait a minute, same vehicles at my house. Where are they going? They're not stopping. We're
You
trying.
live in town. This could happen to your house too.
We're trying to, you know, we're trying to figure out
Absolutely.
what's going on. And so you can see in the couple pictures I posted, that he's not coming to our door. He drove to the back of our property, which has nothing to do with anything. Did not stop, would not stop for us. Other lady, you can see one of the pictures, he's literally 2 hands, full body, leaning in the windows. And she said, you know, what is this guy doing? And so I contacted, when we saw it on the state police told us that it was posted on the town website. And so I contacted Parker Appraisal and asked if they could confirm this white Subaru, et cetera. You can see it's one of the papers. And they said yes, that he is doing appraisals for the town works. Then I said, you know what is the guidelines for assessors going around? So I went to the state website, Maine Property Tax Training and Certification for state assessors, tax assessors or property assessors, however you want to say it. And the website's referenced. I didn't copy the whole thing because we didn't need it all. But I highlighted a couple things inside of it. It literally says they should have ID or business cards. They should have door hangers notifying that.
Should be a magnet on the car.
No, it said there's nothing on this vehicle. If the owner's home, introduce yourself. If they're not home, they need to leave a door hanger first. I mean, this is from the state's website, and they even.
We were home. We literally watched him drive up.
And it was early morning, so we weren't dressed, so we didn't literally run out and chase him. But we're in the window saying, hey, you know, what are you doing? And this guy just drives off. And it's like, there's nothing he would have for any reason to drive to the back of our property.
The
So,
building permit I have is for a kitchen remodel. Kitchen isn't in the barn.
right.
There's no reason for that person to be out back behind my house.
Yeah, and that's Yeah. what other people are saying too. One of the people I gave the paper, she gave me permission to share it with you. She says, we have a brand new house. And it's like, I didn't get into details with her. She said, but our house is brand new. Why is he here? You know, why is he leaning in, trying to peek in our windows? There's no reason what's going on. So, you know, this company, the Parker Appraisal, this is an older gentleman. So if he's saying it's the owner's son, I don't know. It was an older.
He's saying it's his son. I know what Bob looks
He told me
like.
it was his son.
Yeah.
He does have magnetic signs sitting in the select office he's supposed to come get, and he did not.
Nope, and this, like I said,
And he
this
told me
gentleman.
it was for new builds. He was going out to look at new builds.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. Our farmhouse is in some
I'm under,
farmhouse.
I was under the assumption that they're
There's
supposed to
no idea.
contact you prior to.
Yeah, and we're home, and
yeah.
look, I'm on school vacation right now. I am home, and there's no reason, so we were very concerned that, you know, what gives this person right to, first of all, not try to make contact with the homeowner, just going around, and so we're really upset, and the police, you know, they confirmed, they said, we'd be upset too. There's no one,
Yeah.
you know, no one has a right to be on the
I
property.
read it on
so-
the social, I even responded on there.
Yep.
You know,
And
because
so-
I wasn't aware, nor was Tammy. We were never made aware that they were going out.
And I could see, you know, if they're following up, but first of all,
they need to be, reminded, they need to make contact with us, so.
Wow.
I'm not sure who needs to contact Parker Appraisal, but they need to be reminded that town is not
I
happy
will
with
make it a
their.
point to, I will send an email to him.
Yeah,
and
because I
it-
mean, with the, security systems people have, we tracked every bit of what they were doing. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not sneaking in. This does
You
not
had the
make sense
clearest
to us.
picture. I saw the picture of the license plate. I'm like, the first thing I said, just run the plate.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
we don't have access to do that, but if I could have, I would have. So, anyway, thank you.
We apologize.
Yeah,
Mr. Van
I do
Allen.
apologize, and I will reach out to Bob and advise him that we have a structure we use here, and if he's gonna go to any more, he's gonna have to have the proper placarding, and I would recommend that they reach out to the homeowner before,
They
because it,
started the front door, they started a door.
yeah, I mean,
If I thought of it sooner, I literally was gonna drive, I was just gonna back the truck up, so he has no place to go.
yeah, then he would've had to answer
Police
you.
showed up.
Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just add that as a select board, you are the assessors. You're delegating that out to a contracted source. So they should never be going out without the board being aware of that.
Right.
They're working
That's
directly
what I
for
was-
you. And
Right.
I got a call from Laura this morning and advising me what you guys had gone through. And I was upset because we should have been notified. We should have been notified. That's what we were sworn in as the town assessors.
The part that I guess bothered us also was like, there was nothing on the town website, and then.
Then it was on that afternoon. I agree. Just to make, I'm with you.
Coincidence.
Yep, it could have been coincidence, but I agree, because I jumped right on this morning when I was on the phone with Laura, and there it was. I'm like, oh, it was put on yesterday afternoon,
Yeah, that's what we said, so,
so.
thank you.
No, thank you. I apologize again, and I will get to the bottom of it. Anybody else would like to speak? Yes, actually, that's a good good
Yes,
thing.
yes, because someone
We-
was in asking, so
we had a-
please do,
yeah.
clear that up.
To clear up, so the ambulance that's on this town article, I'll let him elaborate and explain it in detail. We want to get it out there because there's a lot of confusion, I guess, on money and how this is being paid for.
Yep. So generally speaking, there's several warrant articles asking to spend money out of capital reserve for the various departments. There's two in the warrant for the fire and EMS. One is for the ambulance replacement. Yes, we did just receive an ambulance a year and a half ago. That's ambulance 2. And it took us, I think that took us 4 years to get from the time we ordered it. And so they're saying it's a 3-year build time from the time you order it. The process to get to that point is finalizing a spec for the ambulance and sending it out for bid, awarding the bid, and then signing a contract. At that point, you figure on a 3-year build. So it is very close from the time we received the new ambulance, but this is to replace ambulance 1. I guess there's some rumors going around that it was to add, essentially make a third ambulance. We don't need that. And it's simply to replace A1. A1 is 2014, and it currently has 126,000 miles on it. So when you figure by the time we receive that new ambulance, assuming that it all passes, there'll be a lot more mileage on that. And given the salt that we use, the condition of the body probably will be deteriorated a little bit more. Then to pay for that, in today's money, I asked the salesman for the current ambulance that we have, what that ambulance would cost today, and it came in at $380,000. So I ballparked $400,000. Assuming we're going to pay for that in 2028. And we will have enough money in the EMS billing account to be able to pay that 100% from that account and not have to impact our capital reserve balance. That could be kind of confusing for people because it's initially going to be voted out of capital reserve because we have to get the funds approved before we can go through the process of ordering and purchasing the ambulance. But when it comes time to make the payment on the ambulance, we'll be able to vote to transfer the funds out of the EMS billing account and put it into the capital reserve. So it's essentially a wash. The other article is for an engine replacement. The goal is to replace engine 1, 1991 Pierce. It carries 2,500 gallons of water. And Chief Hartford started in 2015 or 2016 trying to replace the truck. And it keeps getting pushed out and pushed out. Structurally, the truck's fine. I've said that all along, trying to get this on the ballot. It's not that the truck is junk, but we have a lot of old trucks. And if we don't start replacing them, we're gonna be caught with our pants down and having to pay millions of dollars all at once to replace these things. And so just trying to get things on a cycle so that we can budget appropriately over time and be able to pay for things when they need to be done, and not overwhelm the tax base. But, there's currently enough money in the capital reserve to be able to pay for the items that are listed on the warrant. So annually, we fund the capital reserve account with a warrant article, and it's for reasons like this. We build it up over time so that when the big expenditures come, we don't have to increase the taxes all at once. So.
And that capital reserve fund balance and requested items coming out of that is in the book as well. We put that in the book this year, so capital reserve fund is in the book for you guys to look at. And you can see the Financial Advisory Committee's recommendations of replenishing that and what is kind of on the docket for the 5-year plan of spending it, so.
And the medical billing account is all the intake of the rescue and the rescue calls, insurance funds, everything. So when the rescue goes out, it gets billed.
Yep.
And so basically, a lot of people are not understanding that virtually it's already money there, it's not taxed. So you're gonna virtually get a rescue without spending a penny of the taxpayers' dollars, which is a good thing. Along with that, who knows from now till the engine replacement, our plan is we would love to be able to get some type, there's a lot of grants out there. And as we move forward here, I think we're looking into that very, very, very heavily. Because it would be nice to, even if we get a partial or something that doesn't burden the taxpayers. Because it's.
You just need somebody that's really, really good at writing
Yes,
grants.
yeah.
So that's a long, arduous.
And along with the new rescue, because the 2 people today were commented, they thought we were gonna have to have a 3rd rescue, 2 more staffing, more full-time, more, and it's, no, we're still, everything's remaining the same. This is just a replacement for rescue for A1.
Yep, Rescue
So-
1 is aging, and it's actually the backup, even though it's called
Yeah,
number 1. Number 2 is now the number 1, the newest, and A1 will be replaced, not a 3rd ambulance.
Yeah, I'll just keep rambling on. A2, for the time that we've had it, now has 26,000, a little over 26,000 miles on it. So every year we get busier and busier, and so trying to forecast what the mileage will be, years down the road is a little difficult. But what I'm trying to get is each ambulance replaced when it's 10 years old. But I'm trying to offset that by 5 years, right? So like the Ford chassis, the diesel engines have a 5-year warranty on them. So if we run the new ambulance for 5 years, that motor is under warranty while it's the front line, and we just keep rotating that through. So.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes. And the fact that, the rescue calls, Limington now is responding to Cornish, Shakopee, the mutual aid is pretty impressive. You guys went to having to call people into the town 2-3 years ago to now that you guys are covering all these towns, and it's pretty impressive on the fire and EMS side to see, so good job, guys.
Did you want to, Bonnie?
Question?
You
Yeah,
wanna-
sure.
Bonnie Lord Laughlin. Just hearing you describe that, Jason, I haven't looked through to really drill down on what I think you said here, Tammy. We'll see about where the capital expenditures are laid out for us here. But when I just heard you say that, let's see, the medical billing will actually pay for Rescue One eventually?
Yeah.
It'll come out of, it looks like we'll see it coming out of capital improvements, but then that will be offset by the medical billing.
Yeah, so basically, to
was
order
just
it,
gonna
we
ask
have
you.
to, so in order for us, it'll go, come Saturday, you guys vote. If you vote for it, it'll allow us to order it. It says it's coming out of capital improvements. What happens is, when it comes time to pay for it, the medical billing account, which currently sits, I think, at $389,000 right now, in 3 years from now, we'll be able to take that money, transfer it to capital improvements to cover the cost of that rescue. So there would be no tax dollars spent. It's all revenue from the rescue that's paying for itself.
Thank you. So I heard you say that, except I didn't hear you say a number that's associated with medical billing in the
Yeah, right now, I think it's
$300,000 range, but I was just gonna-
$389,000.
Okay,
So
great.
as it goes up, I mean, if you figure 400,000, we're only 11,000 off from that right now, so.
So again, just because I walked in tonight and I'm hearing this, but it did generate sort of a question for me. My question, please, is what would happen with the medical billing funds otherwise if we weren't going to put it in, if we weren't going to offset, if we weren't going to pay for the ambulance with it? And my question just goes to, don't we usually have it go to the funds?
We
It's
do an
in-
offset
I
of
was just gonna finish.
150,000 each year.
It's income to the town.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is in our treasurer's
So
report.
150,000 of that offset every year goes, during town meeting, goes to that, from that account to.
Offset taxes.
The offset taxes. So, but the remaining balance stays in there and builds. So rather,
It does?
yes,
Oh. So we actually.
it has been.
It has been for how long?
But just recently, we've gotten extremely busy with calls. Over the past, I think, 4 years now, that account went from $20,000 or $30,000 to $380. So Emil's idea was, why don't we utilize the profits from the medical side of it to pay for the medical side of it? And it's a burden off the taxpayers.
I'm not challenging that at all, Jason. I'm just trying to follow to understand that if it isn't money that's going to go into the place that it has gone before, which is into the funds of the income of the town,
The general
It still
fund.
does.
well, it does, but we're going to assign it to the ambulance. Therefore, is there a case to be made that that income that would have gone to other things for the town actually will have to be will have to be sort of, will be income that isn't coming in, and therefore might be something that the taxpayers actually will have to make up for?
No, yeah, he can
And I guess
explain it.
the
It's
pe-
not,
the
yeah,
piece
because
that I
we
may
still,
be-
the offset every year goes, we put 150,000 from that account every year. That's
And when you
not
say
gonna,
we put 150,000, this is what I'm saying. So 150,000 here
the offset.
is rescue billing receivable. I just cruised down here real
Yep.
quick, because I'm just listening, and, so that, it seems to me, goes into the general fund balance.
Correct.
That helps pay for
Correct.
our needs and our responsibilities, and it offsets what we have to pay. I mean, it's income to the town, so
Yep.
it's money that we don't have to pay out of taxes.
Correct.
Okey doke. But I think you're also trying to educate me that there's a buildup of this, that it actually
Yeah.
isn't going into the funds. Let me just get my
Yep.
question out, please.
Sorry.
I'm slower than you are in this case. So is it not really just going, it is put aside somehow? It builds up, okay, and Emil will clear this up. Thank you for
Yeah, no
hearing
problem,
me out.
Bonnie.
So how many of years ago, when they started billing for EMS services, there was an account established specifically for that revenue? So it's never automatically gone into the general fund balance or undesignated fund balance. So there's an annual vote to pull funds from that EMS billing account and put it into the general fund to offset the operating costs of essentially the fire EMS department, but the overall budget, and reduce the burden to the taxpayer. So there's a decision made on, every year how much to pull out of that account. And like you said, we've been busier, so the revenue is going up quicker than it used to. And so there's a balance in there. And we could take that whole balance out and use it to offset the taxes this year, but we wouldn't have that balance next year to do the same offset. So we would make a fluctuation in our tax assessment. So that's the whole point of doing capital, right, is you try to keep a fair or balanced budget going forward. There'll probably be a little increase annually or whatever, but it's not high one year and then a big drop because you don't have to buy a new ambulance the next year, things like that. So that's essentially what this would be doing. It would not impact the tax base or the tax assessment, and still give us what we need. And it's using the, like you said, the profits of the ambulance to actually pay for itself.
Yeah.
But we're still taking, still proposing the 150,000 this year. So it's not reducing the offset that we always do, but it allows us to save that
Balance.
capital reserve for the other items, because we know we're not funding that well enough for all the things listed in the future, so.
Okay, I think I understand. I'm a little rusty on this. So 150,000 is what we vote on with one of our last articles.
Yes.
In the inclusive one of the offset. But again, when we see that 150,000, that's only a portion of all the EMS billing that came in, of course. And so that other portion is like enough, so that over a couple of years, it's going to be 400,000. So
Because each
what,
year, when we put 150,000, we're not gonna stop doing the 150, so the offset's gonna stay the same.
yeah,
The only difference is by letting it build up, we can physically pay for that rescue,
right.
which, you know,
So just remind me, where in here, where can I see how much, what was the whole chunk that came in?
So that's the current balance in that account.
Medical billings collection, page 33,
So the
Yeah.
150,000 that you see up under,
the accounts, the yeah.
The billing receivable, that's the amount that got transferred this year from the billing account.
Because we voted on it the year before to do
that's
that.
after the 150 from
Okay.
last year, yeah.
So this actually is a reserve account, and you know, those, a few years ago, we got rid of some of the reserve accounts, but we did retain others. So this one chugs along. And we can now see in our town report this year, for 2024, that's how much is in there now, and it's
Correct.
339, which
Yeah.
I think you were talking about, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's after the $150,000 offset that's already been put in
Right.
from last year, right?
Okay.
So,
So what have we done with that before? Have we used money from the medical billing reserve account in the, just remind me, have we used it
There's never
before?
been enough in there other than the offset.
Oh, really? And to Jason's point, it has been growing quite a bit more in the past few years. Okay. Thanks.
thank you, Bonnie. Come on up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Lisa Burgess, 35 Ospey Trail. I've noticed in, I don't know if it's been 4 or 5 weeks, that there's been a select person missing from the meetings. And a quorum is usually required to operate a lot of things. And you go in an executive session. How is it working without having a quorum and making decision-making?
You have to have two
I thought you had to have an odd number, a 3.
2
No.
out of 3. is a
out of
quorum.
3.
But if
to-
you don't have 3,
To make a vote. When we're in session, we're not particularly voting.
We're not voting on
We're
anything.
Okay.
discussing
Okay, discussion.
matters. Yeah, it's no,
Okay.
we're not voting on anything.
Okay, because I always thought, 2 wasn't a quorum. I thought it had to be 3 when it was decision-making. So I was
Yeah, it's
just,
been a number
It's
of
a-
weeks.
okay, because I was just seeing all of these
It's a
warrants.
majority of,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if the two-person results in a tie, the motion fails.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so I was just curious because it seems,
So in the case of tonight, if we were to vote, exactly. If we both vote in favor, it would pass. If it was
If it was a
opposite,
tie,
it would
okay.
fail.
all
Yeah,
right, thank you.
yeah,
thank you for your question.
yeah. Anybody else? Well,
Well, you want to, we'll do the
yep, read down.
end of the,
Yeah, Select Board office hours are Thursdays 2 to 8 PM. The on-air meeting times, Thursdays at 7. Transfer station hours are Saturdays and Sundays from 9 to 4, and Wednesdays 12 to 4. A transfer station sticker must be attached to your vehicle's windshield for disposal of all items. Transfer stickers are available at the town office for $20. No sticker is required to use the swap shop. The transfer station does not accept brush, yard clippings, and hazardous waste. Riverside Recycling in Portland takes the hazardous waste. General Assistance Office hours are Tuesdays 9 to 11. Applications are available from the town clerk's office during their normal business hours. Applications must be filled out and accompanied with supporting documentation and must be signed. Planning Board meets at the municipal complex the first and third Monday evenings at 7 p.m. And I forgot to print
Their next,
their agenda for this
yeah.
Monday. So
Their
they are meeting Monday.
no,
Yeah, this Monday, ain't it?
no, March 3rd.
Oh, March 3rd.
Their next meeting will be March 3rd.
Okay.
I think they sent their notes out for their
Oh,
last
I just
meeting that they
I
had,
didn't
but,
print it this afternoon, so.
no, I know. But I wrote down March 3rd. I think that's what Joyce said.
Okay,
Is that their next meeting is Monday, March 3rd.
fair enough.
All right.
In that case, if nothing else.
Is that anything? Is that it for tonight? Bonnie?
Eventual purchase of Rescue One, so is
No,
that also?
the fire
some-
truck, not the rescue.
Oh, it's for the fire truck?
Yeah.
It's very uncommon.
I'm sure you've looked at it, Emil,
Yeah,
but
there's not a lot of opportunity for EMS grants. Like the one that always comes to mind is the AFG, the FEMA grant. And they do fire trucks. They're hard to get, but they do fire trucks. But you never see an ambulance, so. But to your point, which is the reason that the amount from the EMS billing isn't proposed to come out this year, or specifically to pay for the ambulance out of EMS billing, is because the people can vote to do something different with it, right? So they can, first they're gonna vote the way the warrant is, unless somebody wants to take it out of order. They can vote whether they want to purchase the ambulance or not. And then they'll vote on the offsets, which they can increase or decrease. And hopefully they do their homework and look at the treasurer's report so they can see what the balances are in order to make those decisions. But yeah, it's just an idea, and that's why we have the election, right? So people can make that decision.
sorry, am I holding you up? Remind me about what you referred to as Mike Hartford started saving the money 10 years ago. Was that for the fire? Not for the ambulance, okay. So it really looks like there's no other revenue source, grant, anything that would help us with a $400,000 purchase of our once in 10 years.
Not at
Once
this
every
time.
10 years.
No.
Not at this time. I know.
And we've really looked, I'm sure you've looked.
Yeah.
Thank-
I'll just elaborate on that. The closest we got to that was the $50,000 that Chief Hartford got back in 2013, 2014 to get the current ambulance one from the Stephen and Tabitha King Foundation. But I think if you ask Hartford, that was the first EMS grant, or first funds that they gave for EMS stuff, so.
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
anybody else? No?
Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I will second that. We are adjourned at 7:44 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.